Greeting everyone. Once again, welcome to the world of Chandamama. I'm your host, Dr. Chetan Saxena. Today I'm going to share a story from June 2007 issue. The story's name is A Son's Birthday Gift. The queens of Emperor Jahangir sat in the open terrace of Jahaz Mahal watching the sunset. It was late September with a tang of autumn in the air. The breeze that blew over the lakes was distinctly cool. There were puffs of cotton wool clouds in the sky, now reddish with the glow of dusk. The month had commenced with Jahangir's birthday celebrations, which had continued for several days. Now the guests and the outsiders had all left, and the people inside the fort were getting back into their normal routine. What a pity the emperor's birthday celebrations remained incomplete despite everything, remarked one of the queens. You mean because Shah Jahan, his favorite son, could not be present? Asked another. Of course, the emperor loves him the most of all his children. He must have missed him badly. In that case, why didn't the prince try to make it here somehow? Asked one of the new queens. My dear, the Prince Regent has many more important responsibilities and it is not always possible for him to do what he wants, answered Noor Jahan, the chief and the most important of the queens. She was also known to be the emperor's prime favorite. But isn't he coming at all? Asked another new queen somewhat timidly. Noor Jahan could be formidable when she wanted, and the other always remembered that fact. Of course he will, replied Noor Jahan. In fact, he is expected any day now. I don't expect he'll take much notice of us, said the queens who had not met the prince before. You are mistaken, said Noor Jahan with a smile, as you will realize when you meet him. Shah Jahan came to Mandu on the second day of October 1617, a month after his father's birthday. He came laden with belated birthday gifts for Jahangir. This is what the emperor had recorded about his son's visit and the gifts brought by him in his memoirs. On Mubarak Shamba, my son Shah Jahan came to Mandu and produced his own offerings, jewels, jeweled articles, fine clothes, and other rare specimens. They were all laid out in the courtyard and arranged along with the horses and elephants adorned with the gold and silver trappings. I came down from the Jarokha and looked through them in detail. Among them was a fine ruby bought at the port of Goa for 2 lakh rupees. There was no ruby in my establishment of this size. Another was a sapphire valued 1 lakh rupees I had never seen before, a sapphire of such size and such good color. Another was a diamond valued 40,000 rupees. There was also an emerald. Although it is from a new mine, it is of such a beautiful and delicate color as I never seen before. Again, there were 2 pearls valued 25,000 and 12,000 rupees. Last of all, there was another diamond valued 30,000 rupees. If the private offerings of my son were to be written down in detail, it would be too long a business. What I expected from his gifts was worth more than 20 lakh rupees. In addition to this, he gave his stepmother Noor Jahan gifts worth rupees 20,000 rupees, and to his other stepmother gifts worth rupees 60,000 rupees. Such offerings have never been made during this dynasty. You might wonder from where Shah Jahan procured these rare gems and whether he had bought them. The memoirs of Jahangir states that they were all Shah Jahan's personal possessions. He had received them as gifts from various people. He had merely chosen the best and the most valuable ones for his father and had gifted them to him to show his love and respect. And that was not all. He had also brought fabulous gifts for his stepmothers, especially Noor Jahan, said to be the most dearly loved amongst his father's begums. This just shows that Shah Jahan was generous and loving by nature and that he really enjoyed giving away his own precious possessions to his loved ones. Jahangir was well aware about how Shah Jahan felt. He was the dearest among all his sons. So Jahangir wrote, He, Shah Jahan, is a son who is worthy of grace and kindness. I am very pleased and satisfied with him. The words of Jahangir appears to be doubly tragic when we remember that the last days of Shah Jahan spent in tragic captivity along with his daughter Jahan Ara, who chose to remain with him. It seems brutal that a man who had so much love and affection for his family should be imprisoned by his own son Aurangzeb, and that the same son should also have murdered Dara Shikoh, the son dearest to his heart. Shah Jahan spent his last days not merely as a prisoner but as a heartbroken father lamenting the loss of his firstborn. There is no record of Aurangzeb visiting Mandu, but the inscription on the Alamgir gate tells us that it was built by the governor of Mandu during Aurangzeb's reign. The Mughals had already lost most of their power and glory after the death of Aurangzeb. The spark grew dimmer and dimmer as one after the other of the remaining Mughal kings took over. The Marathas made several invasions in the kingdom of Malwa. In 1732, Malhar Rao Holkar marched into Mandu and conquered Malwa for good. Peshwa Bajirao was made the governor of Mandu in 1734. He chose Anand Rao Puar to represent him. Anand Rao moved away from Mandu and settled down in Dhar, the old capital of the Paramarar kings. Mandu continued to belong to the Puars after that. According to local legends, the Puars are said to be the descendants of the Paramara kings to whom Mandu originally belonged. If this is really true, then we may conclude by saying that Mandu was eventually restored to its rightful owners after 7 centuries. This is the end of the story. Thank you so much. See you next time.